All right, I had a request. Let's look this up. Give me a second here, guys. So this came from an asshole consulting client. I decided, he says, if you could throw it on the podcast or you want to charge of it, let's just throw it on the podcast because I killed two birds with one stone, but it does need to be talked about. The client writes, hey asshole, there's a pretty important new YouTube policy that just came out that may even screw you. Here's an article about the policy and the policy itself. Can you speak about it in a video or your podcast or something? Thanks. I said, sure. All right, so here's the official YouTube blog comment. An update to our commitment to fight terror content online. I don't know what I have to do with terror or what anyone on the right has to do with terror. A little over a month ago, we told you about the 4 new steps we're taking to combat terrorists content on YouTube, better detection and faster removal driven by machine learning, more experts to alert us to content that needs review, tougher standards for videos that are controversial but do not violate our policies, and more work in the counterterrorism space. We wanted to give you an update on these commitments, better detection and faster removal driven by machine learning. We've always used a mix of technology and human review to address the ever-changing challenges around controversial content on YouTube. We recently began developing and implementing cutting-edge machine learning technology. Well, what, you weren't using cutting-edge technology before? Designed to help us identify and remove violent extremism and terrorism-related content in a scalable way. We have started rolling out these tools, and we are already seeing some positive progress. I'm sure that is the leftist definition of progress. Speed and efficiency. Our machine learning systems are faster and more effective than ever before. Over 75% of the videos we've removed for violent extremism over the past month were taken down before receiving a single human flag. It's the faith in the technology overriding a commitment to the freedom of speech, of which you don't have on YouTube. Of which you do not have on YouTube. Just so you know, you don't have that. You're using their platform. It's totally up to them. Accuracy. The accuracy of our systems have improved dramatically due to our machine learning technology. While these tools aren't perfect and aren't right for every setting, in many cases our systems have proven more accurate than humans at flagging videos that need to be removed. See, and that that's what concerns me. They need to be removed. I'm like, to your policy. I know, and I'm slipping into the, well, I thought they'd defend freedom. They're not freedom of speech. That's what you got to keep telling yourself. Google is not about the freedom of speech. They're about making money. Scale. With over 400 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every minute, finding and taking action on violent extremist content poses a significant challenge, but over the past month, our initial use of machine learning has more than doubled both the number of videos we've removed for violent extremism, as well as the rate at which we've taken this kind of content down. We are encouraged by these improvements, and will continue to develop our technology in order to make even more progress. We're also hiring more people to help review and enforce our policies, and we'll continue to invest in technological resources to keep pace with these issues and address them responsibly. I know if people try to monetize it, if YouTube just lets anybody upload anything, you're going to have sponsors and ads for Nazism and rape and whatever disgusting, pedophilia, other disgusting stuff if there was no filter. I wish Google and their advertisers would realize that no one is going to associate a company, like the sane people of the world. Let's say you get somebody advocating pedophilia. Like the pedophilia channel, hey, diddle little kids. I think everybody knows on the adult level that if an advertisement for Dove soap came on, we're not gonna say, oh yeah, Dove soap really advocates this. But no one's adult enough to do that. There are not enough people over at Google or the advertisers are adult to realize that. So now, since the advertisers are threatening to take away their money, Google has to start screening out. So ideally, you just throw up whatever, and then the FBI and the CIA and whoever else says, wow, look, it's like a net. I think of it like a dragnet. Like, look at all these people volunteering their criminality. Let's go hunt these fuckers down. But this is just my world. But now, since we got into the world of regulation, now the floodgates to hell have opened and you got a can of worms. More experts. Of course, our systems are only as good as the data they're based on. Over the past weeks, we have begun working with more than 15 additional expert NGOs and institutions through our Trusted Flagger program, including the Anti-Defamation League, the No Hate Speech movement. Hang on. I know the ADL is leftist, but let's take a look at the No Hate Speech movement. You know they're going to be open-minded to right-wingers, right? They're going to be open-minded to the right side. And I'm not talking kill the Jews. I'm talking, let's see, who are we? Youth campaign. I just want to see who they are. They usually talk about who they are. They just can't help but put themselves up there. Content moderators or contact moderators. Youth Department Council of Europe. Oh, they're in Europe. I just want to know who Hate Speech Watch, Education Blog, National Campaigns. Let's go to education. Let's see. How to become a partner. Let's go to their blog instead, see what they're writing about. I just don't trust people who get on bandwagons of no hate. It's like, yeah, we're anti-genocide, really? And you pride yourself, oh, look, we're against women's breast cancer. Wow, that's a tough stand to take there, guys. Commemorate the Roma genocide in Krakow and Auschwitz. Okay, really? This is perfect. Here, look, and don't forget, young Europeans commemorate the Roma genocide in the Krakow and Auschwitz. The concentration camp, 3,000 Roma were exterminated during a single... Really? You guys are against genocide? Wow! Children as victims of hate crimes. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. The Institute for Strategic Dialogue. These organizations bring expert knowledge of complex issues like hate speech. These are not complex. They're part of human nature. Radicalization and terrorism that'll help us better identify content that is being used to radicalize and recruit extremists. We will also regularly consult these experts as we update our policies to reflect new trends, and will continue to add more organizations to our network of advisors over time. Tougher standards. We'll soon be applying tougher treatment to videos that aren't illegal but have been flagged by users as potential violations of our policies on hate speech and violent extremism. If we find that these videos don't violate our policies but contain controversial religious or supremacist content, they will be placed in a limited state. The videos will remain on YouTube behind an interstitial. Did I pronounce that right? But won't be recommended, won't be monetized, and won't have key features including comments, suggested videos, and likes. We'll begin to roll out this new treatment out to videos on desktop versions of YouTube in the coming weeks, and we'll bring it to mobile experiences thereafter. These new approaches entail significant new internal tools and processes and will take time to fully implement. Early intervention, expanding counter-extremism work. We've started rolling out features from Jigsaw's redirect method to YouTube. When people search for sensitive keywords on YouTube, they will be redirected towards a playlist of curated YouTube videos that directly confront and debunk violent extremist messages. We also continue to amplify YouTube voices speaking out against hate and radicalization through our YouTube Creators for Change program, which I think does have nothing but a bunch of leftists. Let's take a look at the people there. Creators. Is this Creators for Change Fellows? Yeah. Not a lot of guys hitting the web, or hitting the gym, I mean. Wimpy white guys. A lot of foreigners. A lot of Muslims. I think it's, well, look at it, it's pretty much all Muslims. About 70%. I just recall somewhere there's like prominent leftists that sit on this panel. I think was it Anita Sarkeesian's on that one? Am I confusing her with another one? Just last week, the UK chapters of Creators for Change Internet Citizens hosted a 2-day workshop for 13 to 18-year-olds to help them find a positive sense of belonging online and learn skills on how to participate
safely and responsibly on the internet. We also pledge to expand the program's reach to 20,000 more teens across. It sounds like indoctrination and brain. Don't parents take care of this? See, this is too much reach. I understand you don't want Nazis and terrorists and things like that. And I understand you want to get rid of racism and discrimination and say, okay, I'm not going to hold that against you. Of course, who doesn't want that? But you're holding workshops for 13 and 18-year-olds on how to develop online social skills? They're the ones that live their entire lives on the internet. They probably are the standard. Who are you? See, that's where it gets creepy and Orwellian with me. Like, what is this? And over the weekend, we hosted our latest Creators for Change workshop in Bandung, Indonesia, where creators teamed up with Indonesia's Marif Institute to teach all these nonprofits. Teach people about the importance of diversity, pluralism, and tolerance. No, this is leftism. That's socialism. Have you talked to them about freedom? The freedom of religion, economic freedom, low taxes? Have you taught them about that? The threat of a large and ever-increasing state? How about that? If you had a seminar about that, okay, you're balancing it out a little bit, but you're not. And we know here, at least in the United States, diversity, pluralism, and tolerance, that's just BS. That's code word for socialism. Altogether, we have taken significant steps over the last month in our fight against online terrorism, but this is not the end. Of course, now you just got to keep going until forever. We know there is always more work to be done with the help of new machine learning technologies, deep partnerships, ongoing collaborations with other companies. Through the Global Internet Forum, all these nonprofits, and our vigilant community, we are confident we can continue to make progress against this ever-changing threat. We look forward to sharing. All right, what do you want to know? I'll do these guys. Let's read the Engadget.com article. YouTube will isolate offensive videos that don't violate policies. This new limited state is part of its effort to manage extremist content. First, let's see if she has any more insights. The author, Mallory Locklear. Controversial. All right, well, she just basically repeated what the policy was, and I just read that. So we don't have to go over it again. Can you speak about this video? All right, there's may even screw you. Here's an article. Can you speak out about the video? Look, YouTube, I've learned to be, let's be stoicists here. When YouTube started their demonetization program, both people on the right and the left got their tits in a sling and freaked out. Okay? This is why you have multiple revenue streams. This is why, just like YouTube is, we're always going to be working to fight this shit. They're never going to stop. The left never stops because they need ego. They need to constantly go on to the next thing. You have to be just as vigilant and diversified in your revenue streams. And this is why, is it going to screw me? Yeah, they might screw me. I might lose even more of my YouTube revenue. But I never banked on my YouTube revenue anyway. Yeah, it was nice beer money and then some change. Now it's just back to beer money. But I don't use that as I don't use YouTube for the monetization aspects. I got other shit going on. It's a tool I use for asshole consulting. And if YouTube goes away, the great thing about being an online internet celebrity, I mean, Dr. Jordan Peterson, he knows about this. O'Shea Jackson, he went through this when YouTube took it down. He just started up another YouTube channel, and everybody went right over there. No matter what YouTube does, it is too late now because those prominent figures on the right and the left, or whatever, it doesn't matter, those micro-internet celebrities have loyal followers, loyal viewers, because of the democratization and the niche level of the internet. They have very loyal customers and fan base. And they will follow you to wherever you go. And so I'll just set up another YouTube channel, or I'll go to VidMe, or I'll go to Dailymotion. Although Dailymotion said they're revamping their thing. So and it's a tool for asshole consulting. It's not the main thing because I don't rely on YouTube monetization money. But for an overall criticism, keep in mind YouTube is not a bill of rights. it is a private company that they could do whatever they want. And since they are infected with, not necessarily infested, you could say that, but mentally infected with a leftist skew and a lot of social justice warrior-y stuff. Like, we got you, corporate social responsibility, look at us. To the point that they're having these pointless meetings and these conferences. And we're going to have a meeting, and we're going to have a seminar, and we got 13, 18-year-olds. And it was very progressive, and it was very successful. To teach, say, hey, this is common sense. It just proves to me that there is a social justice warrior strain among them, which will disproportionately or lopsidedly affect people on the right or libertarians or not leftists in the political sphere. They could say it's to fight terrorism or whatever else, but then when you get extremist content and everything's about diversity and acceptance and tolerance, how far does that Overton's window go in YouTube? They're in Silicon Valley, which is in San Francisco area, the Bay Area, which is in California, and they all come from academia. Oh, I could see Overton's window. I mean, they are in an echo chamber. It's kind of like looking at Trump. The left hates Trump. I've never seen so much hate. They hate Trump more than they hate George Bush. But Trump, at one time, was a Democrat. He's the most left-leaning Republican there's ever been. First pro-gay marriage president. I mean, the guy is a centrist. But academia and the media and all that have successfully moved Overton's window that now I'd imagine, could you imagine how much they'd hate George Bush Jr. if he came out today as president? So it's kind of a slowly sinking ship. This is like relying on, it's basically just going to become CNN or an arm of the Democrat Party. And okay, do you want to tether yourself to do you want to be dependent upon them, or you just want to use them for their services? And I'll admit, I've taken down some videos. Why? Because I don't want to go through the pain-assery of setting up another YouTube channel. I don't want to go and I don't want to spend the 5 minutes that takes. All right? I don't want to go through the what's it called? The partnership process or whatever it is. It's their game, fine. You want us to tone it down, fine. Okay, I won't use the word cunt anymore. We'll put nice little bland, Orwellian, perfectly accepted YouTube approved words, and it will be as boring as Dennis Prager. Right? And now YouTube's going to suffer on that too, because one thing that people liked about YouTube, right, left, libertarian or not, Satanist, anarchist, doesn't matter. At least, God almighty, how boring is Democrat versus Republican? Should we have government consume 32% of GDP, or should it be 42% of GDP? With us today is Mark Markinson from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, joining us from Geneva. Hello, Mark Markinson. How are you? Well, hello, Bob. How are you? So, what rate should the government tax people? Well, the Democrats say we should tax them at 42. Whereas the Republicans say we should be at 30. I'm bored with that. I'd rather listen to a Black Panther racist tirading off Whitey, or the Nazis tirading off of the Jews, or that's kind of old. That's been done. I'd rather listen to something different and new than shit I'm going to get on CNN and Fox News. That was the one cool thing. But as YouTube tries to conform and be polite and meet the standards of the corporate virtue signaling strategy, corporate America, all the advertisers, that's how YouTube makes its money. They want to be politically correct. They want to be milky toast. They don't want anything offensive. They don't want anything rash. They don't want anything interesting. They want it boring as all hell. And so it's just going to become like over time, as they kick off more and more, quote, extremists, or they put these things into a limited state, they're going to start losing viewers. And people are going to start going off to other places, VidMe, Dailymotion, whatever. And over time, YouTube will lose its dominance. because that's but you know, they kept that precious revenue. They kept that precious revenue. I don't know if you guys remember I think it was Sesame Street. There's this guy trying to catch, it was a cartoon, he was trying to catch fish. It was a vignette. And all he did was kept pulling up weeds. And so all he did is he went in there and he cut out all the weeds. Well, little did he realize that the weeds is what the fish ate. And so he's just fishing in an empty pond and he's not catching any fish. So he replanted the weeds, or the weeds came back. And then sometimes he catch weeds, but then sometimes he catch fish. And that's kind of the situation that Google's in. Look, you were popular because of the weeds. The weeds are what attracted the fish. But if you want to get rid of all the weeds and any color or characteristics, and say that's the thing, I understand getting rid of extremism, but what is extremism to all you leftists sitting there at Google Labs, within Silicon Valley, within the Bay Area, within California, with everyone coming from academia in your little echo chamber there? I mean, probably a statue of Karl Marx right there with you guys. What is going to be considered extreme to that group of skewed, biased people? So, and here's the other thing with the Stoicism. Look, great quote from Spike Spiegel. Whatever happens, happens. All right? You don't control YouTube. You don't control Google. Don't get all upset about it. You know, whatever happens, happens. It is up to you to respond to your environment. Your environment is going to change and do what it's going to do. You have to respond to it. So, is it a nice tool for freedom of speech? Sure. Is it going to be slowly eroded away? Yes, because it's not originally intended to be a free speech thing. It is a business to make money. If you look at where the money comes from, it comes from boring, conformist, corporate social responsibility, virtue signaling corporations. And so just over time, expect more of this. You know, and they tell you, we're working harder, we're going to do seminars. Okay, fine, I know where this one's going. And soon I'm going to have a channel that's as boring as Dennis Prager. If that comes up, okay, I'm going to try a different platform or format. But for those of you that make money off of YouTube, you know, you depend on YouTube as a revenue source. You need to diversify your revenue streams, and you need to be a minimalist. I hate to sound so flippant or indifferent, but, you know, I kind of got mine. I'm done. I paid off my house. I'm a minimalist. I have no debts. It's really hard to hurt a minimalist. It really is, because you just don't need that much money. And once you got free lodging, I mean, it's kind of a position of fuck you. You know, oh no, YouTube further took another percentage. You know, it was kind of funny where they just took 2/3 of the money. YouTube, I should look up YouTube, the financial statements, you know, the subsidiary of Google. You don't look at. I'm kind of curious what happened this past quarter to the revenues now that they just decide, well, we're going to take another 2/3 of yours. You better be profitable by now, YouTube. You better be. I mean, with that, what's it called, windfall of revenue, you better have gone into the black. But for those are my thoughts. Like, yeah, YouTube is going to keep going. I don't want to say leftist. That's going to be the engine of it. It's going to become more restrictive over time. And whether it's 5 years, 10 years, or whatever years, there's going to come a point in time where YouTube is no longer worth it. It's no longer worth the platform for people of, I don't even want to say extremist views, just different views that are deemed tisk by the Orwellian committee of YouTuber, content creator, social justice warrior people. And that's fine. That's fine. But as of now, I had, I think, 2 videos demonetized. And it was because of the title, because my topics are controversial in nature, but then usually the recommendation, people are surprised, like, oh, don't kill the Jews. No, don't kill the Jews. Leave them alone. You mean you don't hate blacks? No. You know, I kind of feel bad for black males. That's why I wrote a book about it. You know, but it's tough fatherly love with the goal of helping people out. And then you go and say, hey, did you watch the video? Oh no, I guess you are kind of nice to those people. Like, yeah. What will happen, and there's no reason getting worked up about it. All right, we got a ton of other news here.